According to the American Farm Bureau, the average consumer is 3 generations removed from farming. This week, Kim Essex from the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance talks about how this gap can lead to inaccurate perceptions of agriculture.
Consumers have gotten far away from the farm. It used to be that we all had a relative who grew up on a farm, or we actually came from a farm, we were raised on a farm. Most consumers today haven't been. Fewer than 2% of folks raise the food that we are privileged to eat in this country. So they're farther away.
Is that number going down too? I mean, just as you look around today, it is an older generation that's farming.
Yeah, that may well be the case. But what U.S. FRA, the Farmers and Ranchers Alliance Group, is committed to is really bridging that gap and helping farmers and ranchers connect with consumers and tell their story.
So in that connection, it seems like it's always an emotional battle. There's always emotion that's brought into it. Is that something that's a good thing or a bad thing?
It's an emotional topic. It's about food. And so their consumer questions are truly about food. They believe in farmers and ranchers, but they're not sure about what we do on the farm and ranch, and they're worried about the quality and the long-term health effects of what we do. So those are emotional topics.
So what are the positive aspects that consumers do agree with or do empathize with?
Yeah. Well, they believe in farmers and ranchers. They believe
individually, specifically?
As the people. And when we start telling our story and we talk about the continuous improvements that we look to make on our farms and ranches to improve the food supply, they believe in those things and they want to hear about those things. It's just information that they don't have access to. So what we're doing here today is really telling farmers and ranchers, you've got to be part of the conversation. You've got to start talking to consumers because your voice isn't being heard.
And how does that conversation start? Some guys out there might be saying, or some guys or girls out there might be saying, I'm just one person. How can I change a whole perception around it?
Yeah, it starts really easy. This is a really easy conversation to start, and you just got to open the door with somebody at a grocery store, in a line at a sporting event, at a chicken dinner, at the church. These are conversations that you can start, and really it's about listening. So it's really about hearing what's on folks' minds when they're choosing food, and then telling your own personal farming and ranching story, not feeling the need to defend all of agriculture. Just tell your story and what you do to continually improve.
Is there a realization between consumers and producers that they both need each other? And obviously with the world going over 7 billion, it's going to become more apparent now. How do you deal with that?
Yeah. Oh, that's a tough question. Is there a realization? I think because agriculture has been so good at providing a safe, affordable, abundant food supply, consumers kind of consider that table stakes, that we will always have a safe and affordable, abundant food supply. So when we talk about these things as, don't you appreciate us for supplying this, consumers say, that's not really my concern because I don't envision a world where there isn't food. At least Americans don't envision that world. So where we have to connect with consumers is on things that are on their mind, and opening that conversation and just letting them express their concerns and acknowledging those concerns, saying, I get it. I get why you might be wondering about that. Let me tell you what I do. It's a very simple, we've created an acronym around it called EASE. The E is for engage, open a conversation. A for acknowledge, S for share. And then the last E is for earn trust. It's really fundamentally a trust question. If you don't believe somebody, you don't believe their facts. So you've got to earn that trust first before you can even inform.